Yeah, man. Hey, and we're back. We're back. We're here again for another week in the classroom. And like always, you know where you're at. You're not just in any classroom. You're not just in any place. You're just not in any podcast. This is Back of the Class Show. And I, like always, the best, the loveliest, the gorgeous, the beautiful Dammy the Creator. And before we get into the liquid ting-tings of the day, you know what you have to do. You know what you have to do. Do I have to say this? Guys, come on. Guys. Subscribe. Leave a comment. Leave a clapping emoji. Give me a round of applause because I deserve it. Leave that for me in the comment section. Leave a review if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever. Leave a review if you can do that. And of course, follow the socials at BackOTClassShow and follow me at Dammy_the Creator. And also, guys, I really hope you're keeping hydrated. Drink a lot of water because apparently you guys are dying. I'm really confused how you guys are dying, but like you guys are dying apparently. So like yeah, drink a lot of water. Stay hydrated because it's summer. I mean, it is summer to be fair. It is summer. I'm really loving the weather. But yeah, do all of that and let's get into the conversation. Let's get into the topic. Let's get into the subject of the day. So like we all know, it's Pride Month. But it's also Men's Mental Health Month. But like mostly in the US. I think the UK one is in like October or November or something like that. It's like at the end of the year. Which is the one that I mostly know, to be fair. Also, it is very hot. Also, let me rant a little bit. This is the second take of this episode. Because I took the first one. And you wouldn't believe what happened. It stopped recording mid-episode. Yeah, tears. And it was actually a perfect episode as well. I loved it. I mean, I loved what I was saying. Like, obviously, I did. Like, this is the second take. Sigh. It's like, yeah, the camera stopped rolling for some reason. So I had to, like, start up. Well, I'm starting over again. But, like, anyways, you know what it is. We're back. But, yeah, it's Pride Month and it's Men's Mental Health Month as well. My plan was to, like, kind of do 2 episodes on Pride and then to do 2 episodes for men's mental health. But like men in men fashion started pissing me off. Yeah, on the social, like on Instagram or like on TikTok, to be fair. And yeah, and like basically there's a lot of men being like, oh, but it's Men's Mental Health Month. Why is no one talking about it? Like, guys, why are you being so childish? Like, stop it. You stress me out. First of all, you as a man, you can talk about it. So why don't you talk about it if it's really something that's near and dear to your heart? Secondly, even if you want people to talk about it, that's not the way to go about it. There's a lot more productive ways to ask people to talk about men's mental health than be like, oh, but why? You know, like, stop, that's kind of childish, and that's very destructive as well. Because what you're trying to do at that moment in time is take away a platform from someone else instead of building a platform for men. Because you can build a platform for men without taking away other platforms, because there's more than enough space for every platform to exist simultaneously. So yeah, it's like my plan was to do like 2 weeks that, 2 weeks this, but like, you know what, I kind of figured that everything kind of ties into each other, because at the end of the day, the patriarchy is the reason why men's mental health is ass and why there's queerphobia as well. So why not just exist simultaneously? Because I think last week as well, I low-key did speak about men and like how hypervigilance towards like queerness also leads to like a lot of pressure for men to uphold like this patriarchal standard of like what masculinity is, which really is unrealistic and whatnot. So like at the end of the day, I think, yeah, speaking about queerphobia inherently would help men and men's mental health, and speaking about men's mental health and like men in general would also, hopefully, fingers crossed, like would also deconstruct the patriarchy and lead to a lot less queerphobia. So essentially, the patriarchy is the problem, and I hope we can all agree on that. But yeah, so today let's talk about some men's mental health things. Like I said, guys, if you want a platform for men's mental health, you can make that platform yourself, or you can also ask for that platform to be made, but ask in a very respectful manner and in a very constructive manner and not a destructive one. Don't try to take away a platform from someone else to have a platform for men, because that does more harm to society and to men than it does any good. So how can we improve men's mental health? Because yeah, I mean, I think it goes without saying that right now men's mental health is like it's going down the drain. You know, there's a lot of trigger warning. You know, considering the fact that this is the second time I'm recording, I should have remembered to put a trigger warning at the very jump. But like, trigger warning. I will be discussing a lot topics of like depression, mental health issues, and also might mention suicide and self harm. So please, if this is something that would affect your mental health, and if it's something that you do not think uh, you would like to listen to at this point in time, please log off. Like that's very important. Like take care of your mental before anything. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you're checking in with yourself, and you don't have to listen to this if you're not in the right mental space to. So yeah, please, trigger warning, and I'm gonna give a little bit of a pause so people have time to like log off or like to also, if you want to scroll past, feel free to scroll past or something. So yeah, and we're back. We're back to our regularly scheduled program. So yeah, it's like right as I was saying, like yeah, right now the men's mental health space is like very tragic at the moment. It's very bad. It's very horrible. There's a lot of loneliness. There's a lot of depression. There's a lot of suicide. There's a lot of self harm that's happening. And I think we as men, we have a responsibility to ourselves to do better for ourselves. And I think a very key step to doing better for ourselves is to deconstruct, to dismantle the patriarchy, because the patriarchy really is the root of like of all evil, so to speak. And I know like that's such a trigger for men as well, like the word the patriarchy, because you have to be fair, it is a buzzword, but like it's a good buzzword. It's a good buzzword. It really does encompass the issue that society and like and men as a result experience. And I think a key way to deconstruct the patriarchy, especially for our mental health as men, especially for ourselves as men, is to get more into unify emotions, because the patriarchy classifies being in tune and like being expressive of your emotion as being feminine. But like I strongly disagree with that. I strongly disagree with that. And also and and yeah, like I think we should all get into with our emotions, because there's a lot of things that we feel on a daily basis, but like as men, because we kind of bottle it up, and we kind of limit our emotional expression to anger or like to happiness in very rare occasions. So like we essentially try to be these stoic rocks that feel nothing, and that's really not good, because what you do, and especially anger as an emotion as well, anger is really not anger. It's more often a repression of other emotions, and then it just kind of bubbles up and comes out as being anger, and that's not good for our mental health. Like we really need to work on that, because being in tune with your emotions really would help a lot of things, because you get to feel the full depth of it, and yes, it could be uncomfortable, and I fully understand that it takes a lot of work as well to get to that point, and a lot of men would probably spend a lot of their life, if not all of it, really trying to learn to express their full range of emotions, because yeah, it's something that has been stolen from us by the patriarchy as men. And yes, I know it's very difficult. It's easier said than done. It is, and I fully sympathize and I fully understand and I fully get where you're coming from, because yeah, like we were not raised like that, and so it takes a lot of unlearning, and it takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of self-reflection to get better at it. But it really does help, because look, apart from anger and happiness, it's like there's sadness, there's hanks, there's just a feeling of feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and these are all things that we need to be able to express. And yes, I fully understand that society will label you, like, and I say will, not would, will label you as being sassy. And that's okay, because hear me out, like, okay, what does being sassy hurt? Like, okay, sure, you're gonna miss out on a couple women because some women don't want sassy men, and that's okay. That just means they're not the woman for you. Because a woman who can't accept you for being emotional, a woman who can't accept you for wanting your needs, or like to be met, or like wanting your wants to be met, and things, and seeing you as sassy because of that, I don't think that's a woman that's good for you to begin with. And so I think we really need to start focusing on ourselves, because look, waiting on society to be better before and to help us to fix our mental health doesn't make sense, because I strongly believe in the idea of like, at some point it stops being society problem, it stops being society's problem, and it becomes your problem. And as men, we really need to start taking our mental health more seriously and learning to express ourselves. Finding safe spaces is also important. Finding safe spaces amongst men, finding safe spaces amongst non-binary people, finding safe spaces amongst women is very, very important, because you're a human being. And yeah, once upon a time it made sense that men should be these unfeeling rocks, because yeah, once upon a time, there was, there was a lot of wars, there's a lot of like village pillaging and shit like that. And of course you don't want men who are empathetic, men who have emotions, to be doing all that, because that doesn't necessarily make for an efficient killing machine. It really doesn't. But like, times have changed, times are changing. And we don't need to be that anymore as men. And we need to work on ourselves. We need to do better. We need to learn to express ourselves, even if it's in the comfort of your own home, even if it's in the comfort of your own space. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to like be expressive towards people outside, and I get that. And I think it's very important to have a space to yourself, a space where you can cry, a space where you can exist in the entirety of who you are, a space where you can be done with the expectations of the patriarchy. And this would really help our mental health, I think it really would. And therapy would help as well. And I know paying someone to listen to your problems doesn't necessarily sound like an attractive option, but like, working on yourself shouldn't be an attractive option. It should be like something you want to do. It should be something that you should do. And so I think therapy is also a very good option. And yes, I know you why pay someone when you can just talk to like your family. But here's the thing, you don't talk to your family, because you have tried in the past and your family didn't react the way you thought they would. They weren't necessarily helpful. And it's not necessarily their fault as well, because that's just how society has raised everyone to like view men. Like, men are not supposed to be that. Men are supposed to express themselves. And so it's up to us to make the change, to be the difference that we want to see in the world. That was very cringy to say. But like, to be the difference that we want to see in the world. It's up to us to be that difference. And yes, you will be called sassy, and that's okay. That is okay, because if you're being sassy by just wanting to be able to express yourself, wanting to be able to like be who you are, wanting to be able to ask for reassurance, to ask for your needs to be met, to ask for your wants to be met, if that's you being sassy, then I think it is very, very, very worth it. Like, the trade-off is so positively in your favor, and I don't see any reason why you shouldn't do it. And that's another problem that I have with men, or like, sorry, yeah, with men, fuck it. Like, that's another problem that I have with men at the moment. Is that, yeah, we say so much about like, oh, we want our mental health to be better, and this and that and this and that and whatnot, but we refuse to like actually tackle the problem. And like I said, the problem is the patriarchy. And apart from the fact that the patriarchy takes away our expression of our emotions from us, another thing that the patriarchy does is the patriarchy censors women for men. So like, and for a lot of men, I've noticed like this is a thing. A lot of men center their lives around women, and that shouldn't be the case. Like, that should not be the case at all. Like, as men, we need to learn to decenter women. You shouldn't want to do whatever, like, your life goal shouldn't be to end up with a woman. Your life goal shouldn't be to end up with a partner. Like fuck it. Like that should be a side quest. At the most, it should be a side quest. At the most. Because it's your life. And it doesn't make sense to live your life for someone else. Especially if that someone else isn't in your life at that moment. Like, that doesn't make sense. Living your life for an hypothetical partner that you might have in the future. Especially if, in this hypothetical, the things you have to do to get this partner are things that don't make you happy, are things that negatively affect your mental health. It is not worth it to center your life around women. It doesn't make sense. And there's this whole trend of like these pseudo men's mental health activists, fucking red pillars and shit. Where it's like, oh, if you wanna be happy, if you wanna feel purpose in your life, get a job, get money, be better, be alpha, and then women would come to you. Like, no, do you not see how stupid and dumb that is? Because that still centers your life around women. Women should not be the goal. The goal should be your happiness. The goal should be you feeling fulfilled in your life choices and who you are. Don't make money because you wanna impress women. Make money because money shouldn't even be the goal, to be honest. Like money should, yeah, you need money to survive. Don't get me wrong. We live in a capitalist society. You need money to survive. But like apart from that, money shouldn't, like, you shouldn't be like, oh, let me make money so I can have women, let me make money so I can buy cars and then impress women and this and that and that and this. It makes no sense. You should do what you love, and then fingers crossed, and hopefully you make money from doing what you love. And if I know not all of us have the pleasure or have the luck to earn money from what we love doing, but like, yeah, do something that you like and can find some purpose in, and have enough time to do the thing you love as well, even if you don't make money from it. It could be a hobby. But decentralize your life from women. That shouldn't be the thing, because that doesn't help your mental health. Especially considering that the type of women that would be attracted to these things, like this money thing, this whole be the man, be the half of thing, those are the type of women that probably don't give a shit about your mental health to begin with. These are the type of women that expect you to be all macho, that expect you to fully encompass the definition of masculinity according to the patriarchy. And the whole goal should be to deconstruct, to destabilize, to take down the patriarchy, because the patriarchy does not help you, does not help society. And also, if you're having doubts of like, oh, but like then this actually helps, let me tell you something, it doesn't. Because yeah, you're making money, but in the effort of you making money, you're making more money for the 1%ers, and you're helping the patriarchy and capitalism to continuously grow and to continuously stay present. So of course there would be some sort of benefit, but like the benefit isn't worth it. It's not worth your mental health. And as men, I think we really need to get to a point where we start to ask questions of the patriarchy, where we start to ask questions about our mental health, and we start to take control and take hold of the narrative and do what is best for us and what is best for society. Because we can only go so long pushing our emotions to the bottom, to the locking them up in like chests and lockers, and then doing whatnot and being unfeeling. We can only do that for so long before it all bubbles up and explodes in our face. We can only do so much. And we really need to work on ourselves as men, and we really need to pay attention to our actions, take accountability, become better as an individual, become useful to society, and not useful in like the capitalist sense, but useful in the sense that you bring light, you bring purpose, you bring joy to everyone, not to people around you, not everyone. Because it's also not your responsibility to make the people around you happy. It really isn't. So as men, we really need to get to a point where we're really focusing on taking care of ourselves and focusing on doing what's best for our mental health, while also not taking away platforms from people, taking away resources from people, and not harming the rest of society. So guys, I really would hope that we start to deconstruct and we start to like let go of patriarchal standards. And if that means being called sassy for learning to love yourself, for learning to take care of your needs and your wants, then so be it. I think that's such a cheap price to pay for your mental health. And also, there really isn't nothing wrong with being called sassy. Look, me, I'm as sassy as sassy comes. I am as sassy as sassy comes. I'm a pillow princess. I'm a passenger seat princess. I am a princess in general. Treat me the way I want to be treated. Like, come correct or don't come at all. That's my thing. If you're not coming correct, just stay. I don't need you. Protect your energy, guys. Protect your energy. Take care of your aura. Take care of what's around you. Stay colorful. Stay colorful. That's very important. Cry if you need to. Get in tune with your emotions. I was actually talking to my dad the other day because like a lot of shit is happening. I was talking to him and he was like, yeah, it makes sense that I feel the way I feel because that's a lot for anyone at all to deal with. And yes, you're a man and yes, you're supposed to like just handle it, but like no, you don't have to handle it. He was like, yeah, it was like, bro, if you need to cry, cry. Like a good cry session, guys. Oh my goodness. Like an actual sobbing session. I love it. What? Like a sob, like an actual bawling of the eye, like water everywhere, like snot, like a nice Annalise type. If you watch How to Get to Murder, you know what I mean. You know, like a nice Annalise type cry session. What? It goes hard. It goes hard. It's amazing. The relief. You literally feel the pressure get lifted off your shoulder. You need that. And you don't even have to do it in front of people. If you're not comfortable doing it around people, do it in the comfort of your own bedroom. Like just do it, just let it go. Let all of your emotions flow. Let everything go. Because you are human, you are a person, you're a human being. And fuck what society wants from you. Fuck what society expects from you. Do what you have to do to not just survive, but to also be happy with the life that you're living. Because you can only live your life so much for other people. You can only do so much for other people. And you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So if you're empty, if you're drained, if you're tired, if you're depressed, if you're sad, if you're borderline suicidal, what can you give to society then? Because okay, yeah, let's say you wanna respect the wishes of the patriarchy, and the wishes of the patriarchy is for you to be a giver, to be a protector, to be a provider. What can you provide if you're empty? At some point, you're going to be providing your skin. You're just going to be providing yourself. Like you're literally going to be cutting off of yourself to give. And you're going to do, and if you do that enough, you're gonna kill yourself. And again, and another thing that I think we as men need to do more often is we need to check up on our niggas, bro. Check up on the niggas, bro. Check up on your boys. Give your nigga a hug. And I said this in the first episode, like the second one. Give your nigga a hug. Give him a kiss on the cheek. Give him like a cheeky kiss. You know? It helps, you know? Be vulnerable. Be comfortable with other men. Create safe spaces amongst men. Like, don't just depend on safe spaces from women, like safe spaces from non-binary people. Let's have safe spaces amongst men as well, because that will help us. That will only do us good. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop here for today, because otherwise I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna run out of topics to talk about in the next 2 weeks. Gasp. shy. But yeah, I'm gonna stop it there today. And also, like I said, for my queer people, them happy Pride Month. And I hope as a society at large, I hope we get better, because doing this for men, helping men deal with like the expectations of the patriarchy, would also create a safer space for queer folks as well. Because then, especially queer men, uh, especially gay men, bisexual men, transgender men, and non-binary people who were assigned male at birth, I think it would make a lot of safe spaces for those people as well. Because then, if we dismantle the patriarchy and we take away the expectations of the patriarchy, queer men or masculine identifying people or non-binary people who are assigned male at birth would also be able to exist in who they are, because they don't have to worry about expectations of who they're supposed to be according to society, because should we should dismantle the patriarchy. So yeah, happy Pride Month to all of my queer people then, and happy Men's Mental Health Month to all of my men then. And I hope as men we get better, we do better, and we become better, because being better would help us and would also help society. And before we end the episode, let's add some songs to the playlist. What am I adding to the playlist? I'm gonna add Kilometer by Burna Boy. The playlist is very, 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 very multifaceted. There's just random ass songs. But yeah. Also, yeah, I know I keep adding 3 songs, but like I'm gonna stop, I think, around like episode 10, and then after that, probably gonna be adding 1 song each or something. Because yeah, there's a lot of I'm just trying to like build the playlist for a little bit, and then at some point just like start adding only one by one or something. But anyways, I'm going to add Kilometer. So Kilometer by Burna Boy. Excuse me. And I am going to add the new J Hus tune. It's actually kind of hard. Like it took some time for it to grow on me, but like I think it's hard. Even Drake's verse, I'm starting to like a little bit. Like it. Oh, Drake is such a joke, man. I love it. Like I actually love this version of Drake so much. Man's really said, "Touch my forehead, touch my forehead, touch my chest, then left side. Pray my brothers are good outside. I know the vibe, I know the vibe. You're the one, girl, stop rolling eyes. I find love and it slowly die, eyes. I felt that. I felt it. I hope YouTube doesn't take this down because of like copyrights and shit. But anyways, so yeah, I'm going to add Who Told You by J Hus featuring Drake as well. And lastly, I'm going to add Bluffing by Brent Fires, because big Brent Fires fan here. Love Brent Fires. Been listening to him the entire week. Yeah, I'm just like binging Brent Fires at this point, and strictly just Brent Fires as well. So yeah, those are the 3 songs for the week. And like I said last week, something is coming up, guys. So like, be expectant, stay ready. Stay ready. Subscribe if you wanna know when this is gonna happen. If I might announce it, I might do something. And for you to find out, what do you have to do? You have to subscribe and you have to follow the socials. Follow the socials. I will be making announcements when it's ready. It's ready. I will be making an announcement. So follow the socials at Back OT Class Show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and follow me, the beautiful, gorgeous host at Dami_the_creator. And like always, guys, I love you and thank you very much. Like, big thanks, really. Big thanks. Huge thanks. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the messages. Thank you for everything, really. Even the likes, like just the double tapping, like thank you. It really means a lot to me. It really means a lot to me. So thank you very much, guys, and I love you. And men, I love you too. I hope you'll love each other. I hope you love me, and I hope we do better. And to end this, give a man a hug this week. Give a nigga a hug this week, because that nigga's mental health probably needs it. Just give a random hug. Give me a hug. If you know me, give me a hug. I love hugs. Give me a hug. So yeah, guys, I love you and have a blessed week. Have a good week. And I'll see you guys next week as well. Bye.